In this video, I'll be reviewing the film Dragonball Z Battle of Gods. I've already been aware of this film back when it was airing in Japan. I saw the subbed version, and then when I found out a few months ago that this film would be in select theaters, I did a search online to see if there would be any in my area, and I found one that was about half an hour away from my city. So I did a search for showtimes, and there was only one showtime for each day. Turns out Tuesday was taken up, so I picked the Wednesday showtime, bought my ticket, and as you can see here, it's right there. Proof that I actually saw this movie in the cinema. And my thoughts on the film. This movie was made for one specific reason, and that was to make up for the dreadful film that we got, Dragon Ball Evolution. Akira Toriyama, after hearing about this film being made, I'm pretty certain that he thought to himself, you know what, the fans deserve a better movie, so I'll make up one myself. Wrote the story with another writer for the film. I can't recall his name. I think its last name is Watabe. I could be wrong. And in terms of animation, it's pretty good. The returning voice actors for Kai have come back. You've got Goku being voiced by Sean Chamel, Vegeta, Piccolo, Yamcha by Chris Sabat, Laura Bailey is voicing Kid Trunks, Kara Edwards is doing Goten and Videl, Kyle Herbert, Ox King, Gohan, and so forth. A lot of them I recognize. Colleen Clickenbell, or excuse me, Clickenbaird. She voiced Mai, which she's another fan favorite of mine that I enjoy her voice work for Funimation. She did a pretty remarkable job with Mai. The story is pretty straightforward. A threat comes to Earth. It has the same themes of redemption and rising to the challenge of a foe. Pretty basic stuff for a Dragon Ball film, but in terms of matching up with the manga, it fits pretty well with the manga, since this film takes place 5 years after Kid Buu's defeat and 5 years before the next martial arts tournament. It gives cues to the early days of Dragon Ball when Goku, Bulma, Yamcha, Puar, they all went on this mystical adventure to find the Dragon Balls, came across Pilaf. He makes a cameo in here with Mai and Shu. They've been turned into kids because they used the Dragon Balls. This was another key element by Akira Toriyama to basically wipe out any chance of GT happening, because with this being so near the end of DBZ, Akira Toriyama wanted to make sure that certain key points that would set up GT couldn't happen. Mai, Pilaf, and Shu being turned back into kids or teenagers was another key element. The pregnancy with Pan. Now, I don't know in terms of the second child of Vegeta and Bulma. They weren't even mentioned in the film, so technically Bulma hasn't become pregnant again, because I know that their second child, Bra, I think that's the character's name. It could be different. Hasn't shown up in the story. Is obviously near the end of the manga. Now, the character of Beerus, Lord Beerus, the god of destruction, he wakes up and he's informed that Frieza has been defeated by a Saiyan going by the name of Goku Kakarot, the main character we know and love. And it's in this viewing of the fight between Goku and Frieza that he has this notion that he's seen this person before, and then it strikes him that he fights someone that looks just like this, who has obtained the power of the Super Saiyan God, and he travels to King Kai's planet, meets Goku, and beats him fairly quickly. Now, later on in the story, when the power of the Super Saiyan God is obtained, this is another point that is viewed by myself as a knock toward GT, because in the story of GT, or lack of story, might I add, during the Baby Saga, several Saiyans, band together with Baby to basically power him up. This was how I viewed it, as a knock by Akira Toriyama to basically bash or make fun of, or however you will. Maybe it could be a story element, and it just happened to be a coincidence that, it's similar to GT in a way. This is basically how Goku obtains the Super Saiyan God form. In terms of the fight scenes, that they're very well played out. The fluid in motion of Beerus and Goku fighting was very entertaining to see the blow for blow during the big fight scene. In terms of comedy, there are several funny moments in this film that I enjoyed, that I had a good laugh from hearing. Not to mention the entire audience getting a good laugh out of them as well. Two key comedic moments that I felt were very funny. One was on King Kai's planet when Kai is trying to warn Goku of Beerus, and saying that, they're in big trouble, and Goku's first reaction is, well, why would Bulma be coming here? Because in Goku's mind, her temper makes her somewhat of a threat, at least to him. He can't bring himself to harm her. It's part of his nature that he's rather easygoing with the female characters of Dragon Ball. I got a good laugh out of that. The other had to be when Mai tries to hold Trunks up by gunpoint to try to get the other Dragon Balls, and Trunks' first reaction is that he wants to dump Mai. He just says, "Can we break up?" And everyone laughed at that moment. For my rating of this film, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, there are certain little elements of that kept it from being an absolutely perfect film, but for what I got and seeing in the film, it was rather enjoyable. It met all my expectations for a Dragon Ball film. The story was good, the acting, the action, everything was on par. A million times better than the dreadful Evolution, And I viewed this in my heart as a sort of atonement for actually going to the cinema and seeing Evolution. This was my big chance to basically get a do-over and see an actual good movie. And for anyone who hasn't seen this film, take it from me, give it a view, and whether you can find the sub version or happen to go to the cinema to see it in English dub while it's out this week, please do so. Feel free to rate, comment, and if you haven't done already, please subscribe, okay? I greatly appreciate those who give their feedback on my reviews. any input, comments, suggestions. And this pretty much wraps up this review here. I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time.